So, we are back on gaming. I have to say this right now. I believe that somebody owes Gamergate an apology. That's right. You know, we might as well get started right now for those that don't know, alright? Because, I mean, we've known this for months, but apparently you got to get other people involved and do studies and things of this nature to see if Gamergate is actually, you know, harassing people. That's what they had to turn into, right? So, they got their little people together, you know, the Women's Act Media or whatever they want to call it, right? That's their Twitter handle, I believe, Women's Act Media. And they investigated Gamergate. And they wanted to find out if it really, you know, if they're really connected with harassment. And they found out of 100% of the harassment that's been going on at SJWs, Gamergate is only responsible for, check this out, 0.66%. And I love the salty tweet on the left. I'm troubled by their analysis on Gamergate data. So, let me get it straight. You're troubled by the facts. That's what it is. You're troubled by facts. Let's get let's really make something very clear here, okay? You jumped to conclusions. That's what you did. A lot of people tried to tell you, hey, this has nothing to do with Gamergate. This is a bunch of people just online trolling the hell out of, you know, others using a hashtag under a hashtag. That's what it is. And you didn't want to hear that. And you wanted to blanket thousands and thousands of people as being harassers. You made a block bot and all this other stuff. You went and got all these people together and say, gamers are bad, blah, blah, blah. It's a bunch of bullshit. Now that you jumped to conclusions because you have your facts now, you have your data, now you're mad. How about this? Why don't you try apologizing? Why don't you try that? That's too much like right? You know what? Matter of fact, Randy Harper, since you went along with your dumb ass and you made this stupid fucking algorithm that blocked with KFC, you made this stupid algorithm and people praised you for it. Why don't you make another bot apologize to those thousands of people that you put on the list that you didn't even fucking talk to? How about that? But that's too much like right, huh? Because you got your head so far stuck up your ass, it doesn't matter. Where have we seen this before? Anybody? Where have we seen this before? Every time you get a bunch of people that come out and say something is bad about gaming, you gotta have all these studies and all this statistical data to prove them wrong. Even though we already know in our community that they're wrong. Why? Because they're on the outside. And we saw this, especially with the media, when it came to violence in video games. We'll talk about that later. But when it comes down to it, this is it. You're wrong. Just admit it. But you can't do that, as usual. But you know what? Even though all these things are happening, Brianna Wu, once again, comes out and says something. Now, I just want to remind people, the last video I did last week, Brianna Wu wanted to get the FBI involved with the death threats because Gamergate was sending death threats to him, right? That's what Brianna Wu said. Well, seems like we've had to change your heart over a week. Check out what Brianna Wu has to say now about Gamergate death threats. Now we laugh at death threats. Apparently it's glorious. What happened, Brianna Wu? Just last week, you wanted the FBI. You've been saying, I need the police. I'm such a damsel in distress. They called my house. I had to leave my house. Donate to my Patreon. I can't go to any convention without any type of security. Does anybody on Twitter want to beat some heads in? Do we not remember this? You've got to be kidding me. But now, we can laugh about it. That's what it is, right? And once again, I want you to show some proof that this is all Gamergate. Because as statistical data is shown from the people that you trust, it's only 0.66%. Out of all the times that you've been sitting here and talking about how you're so scorned and how people just have you wrong and you went to go meet other people. Remember, this is the same thing that was Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian did when they sat there and said they were damsels in distress and then went out and did what? Went and took pictures at dinner and everything, mocking, gamers and carrying on. Oh, what you gonna do now? It's the same thing over and over because you guys, you really look distressed, don't you? It's a bunch of bullshit. The jig is up. It's done. As far as I'm concerned. There's nothing else you have. All you had was to play this role that you're being oppressed and to keep you in the limelight. And now you're showing your true colors. You've always shown your true colors already because we already know you're a fucking nutcase. But the fact is, this is it. You cannot complain anymore about harassment if that's what you posted. From now on, when you go to conventions, because no one gives a shit about your shitty-ass mobile game, let's be honest here, okay? But when you go to conventions, no security. I don't want to hear any more about oppression. I don't want to hear any more about threats. I don't want to hear it because you're laughing at them now. That's what you're doing because it's glorious. It's glorious. It goes to show you that you're going to keep playing this fucking card, making a mockery of not only our community, but the industry in general. And that you want attention. Who wants to kill Brianna? Get the fuck out of my face, this old bullshit. Speaking of more bullshit, let's talk about it right now. We know that you can't, please SJWs. We know this. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Assassin's Creed. We knew the last time Assassin's Creed Unity came out and they said, they couldn't animate females, and we was like, yo, that's a bunch of bullshit. But, as we know, SJWs jumped all over them, right? Well, in this new Assassin's Creed, they actually have a female playable character, and now that you're catering to them, they're saying now that you're exploiting them. And this is what we talk about the media. This is why you cannot please them, because they will always find a reason to complain about something. Even for those who don't know, CNN not too long ago, earlier last week, tried to say that they tried to connect video games to ISIS. That's right, they try to connect video games to ISIS. So let me get this straight, CNN, since that's where you want to go, okay? Let me get this straight. If video games are connected to ISIS, right, because they cause violence and terroristic acts, then what about this that CBS showed over the weekend? Professional paintball competitions. Now, if you look at the bottom of the screen, as you can see, that image, they're college teams, are they not? So this is a college competition. So this is CBS Sports airing mock war. Let's be honest here. That's what paintball is. Mock war that are involving kids. Yet you want to sit here and say that video games cause violence and terroristic acts. That's what you want to say. You know what? Let's just move on. It's such bullshit. So much bullshit today. You know what? Let's talk about it now. EA and their bullshit. Check this out, y'all. NHL 16 exclusive to the PS4 and Xbox One adds in missing NHL 15 features. So EA, alright, you came out with NHL 15. For those who don't remember, NHL 15, it was missing a ton of features when it came out. And fans complained and said, hey, what's going on here for the Xbox One and for the PS4? We're supposed to have these features. And EA said, you'll just have to wait a couple months to get those said features. Did they not? Now, you're going to come out with a new iteration of the game and put those features that people wanted in the next one. So they have to wait. EA, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be unfucking... You know what? Let's just move on. Okay? Because there's so much more bullshit with EA, for those who don't know. Fallout developer, alright, was working on a Mad Max game. Yeah, so Fallout, Mad Max, that's right up their alley, right? Mad Max game, until EA got involved. That's right, they saw what was going on, they threw money at it, they wanted to buy the license, and it fell apart. So for anyone who wanted a Mad Max game with the Fallout development team, nope, that's not going to happen now. Just to let you know. Even though the movie's coming out now, this is something that could have been, they could have tied in with it. This is before the movie came out. This is something they were working on. Whatever. Good going, EA. And you and your money. Once again, we see this time and time again when it comes to big companies like EA. Oh, there's something going on. Let's just throw money at it. They sit here and tell you gamers, oh, well, you'll have to buy this DLC, or we can't give you this much when it comes to servers or whatever. But they spend a lot of money. As we saw, the advertising costs when it came to Medal of Honor and Battlefield. It costs more. The advertising for it, they shelled out. The public, for their advertising companies, the publisher, they threw out so much more money than it did to make the damn game. Now you want to throw money at licenses, and then nothing comes from it. Really, EA, you know what? Let's move to fighting games. EA is just, I want to move on to fighting games. There's some things I need to talk about, alright? So first, I want to give you some news about AKA. For those who don't know, Atlanta Combat Arena features MKX, Killer Instinct, and more live streaming from UNIB Games. Also, AnimEvo or AnimEvo, depending on how you like to say it, their side tournaments have been announced for Unnighted Birth, Blazblue, Melty Blood, and more. Okay? Now, we need to have this talk, FGC guys and girls, because I have noticed as of late a lot of people online not giving credit. We've talked about this before about people not giving credit or whatever, but not giving credit to those who play games, whether it be online or depending their opinion via forum because they're not either top 10 or whatever. You know what? I think it's time to bring it back to what it is, because we see a lot of people always talk, the lag, blah, 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 blah. We know that lag is going to exist, and like I've said before in videos, if you're going to play a fighting game for somewhat competition, you have to be next to that person due to the fact that you won't have those complaints anymore. As far as I'm concerned, if you're trying to be a real competitor and you're going to sit and complain about lag all day, then you need to come up online. You're just doing it to beef up either your profile. Like I said, people play online to have fun. That's what it is. You can't get but so serious because you never know what a person's ping is going to be. You never know what's going to happen. So, this is what I would suggest, okay? And I say this because we've seen this as of late. Well, I should say for a couple years now. Where people get mad because, the West Coast gets more favoritism than the East Coast. Almost like it's 90s rap all over again. You know what I mean? And you see people who get upset because, you haven't won a tournament or you haven't played top 10 or we see this time and time again. I think it's time that we start to bring back, since we want to bring back 90s things, I think it's time that we bring back local and regional championships. I think that's what it comes down to. And when I mean regional, I don't mean actual coast championship, East Coast champion bullshit. No. I'm talking about local, as in city, as in state. Have those champions. It's time to get back together and get communities together to have more local tournaments. Because I think the FGC, what you're failing to realize is that you're stunting your own growth. I say this because the more people that play locally and regionally, guess what? That grows your community. You also get to know more people. You also see, names like this guy's from Atlanta. He's an Atlanta champion. But someone on the West Coast wouldn't know that due to the fact that, well, he hasn't been to the tournaments that I've been to, so I don't know who he is. That's a bunch of bullshit. It is. That's why you need to have more local tournaments. I think that more accolades need to be given out as well, as opposed to, oh, you can win this pot of money. Seriously. I said this before. More trophies, more, championship belts, more something with some type of prestige. You need to, because look, as we know in the fighting game community, money, or any community, any type of life, as you know, money, it comes and goes. That's what happens. You can make a money match right now for $1,000, and guess what? You can burn that $1,000 like that. Because people got bills. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. Families to feed, stuff like that. It adds up. So as we know, that's nothing. And for people who think that $1,000 is a lot of money, it's not a lot of money. For a video game bet, yes, it's a lot of money. But in the everyday paycheck type life, no, it's not a lot of money. Especially when you have a career and you have all types of things to take care of. So you have to understand that these type of things, like, if you're going to play these games and you want this type of prestige without bitching and moaning every fucking 5 seconds, then you need to have some type of accolades with it. And I think it really comes back down to going down to the basics and bringing it back down to a level where you have it so locally. I mean, hell, if you don't have an arcade around you, get a bunch of people together. Play in a house, you know what I mean? Play in a garage, rent out a small place to play at, or at a pizza store where you can play at, or, maybe a coffee shop where to let you run something. You can always talk to owners. You can always talk to, people who own these type of places. Trust me, there's a lot of places that will, help out. There will. You just have to talk to them. And I think that's one thing that we haven't seen as of late. We're so consumed with playing online, and you can play online all you want, and you can have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 wins, then go to a local tournament and get bodied free. It doesn't matter. It's the level of competition. You have to get back to a higher level of competition. Anyone can go around. We see it all the time at MKX. You can just low kick all day, and people don't know how to fucking defend it. And then they get mad on the mic, and then they curse you out. I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous what we see. And as we also know, when people get mad on the mic and curse, that wouldn't happen in an arcade. It wouldn't. Or next to each other. Because people are like, oh, I gotta be a little bit more wary of what I say. Because you know better. You notice when you see these competitions or whatever, wherever you see some stupid fucking pop-off, some childish pop-off, if you don't see that, guess what? People are being quiet. They're being quiet. You know what I mean? Like, they're just, okay, whatever. That's what they do. Because that's how it's always played. You know what I mean? They may say something afterwards, which if you ask me is a punk move. If you go, talk about something behind their back afterwards, you just say good game. But other than that, no one's the entire fight. Oh, you're such a scrub. Oh, you're not as good as this person. Blah 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 blah. You don't hear that throughout the entire time you're playing like next to a person. No, because that would cause problems. And we've seen this so much, like I said, online with MKX as of late. so much. And it's amazing because when I was watching his stream, I remember the one guy, he won the first round. No, he lost the first round, and he bitched and moaned that he lost the first round. He won the second round, was quiet. Third round he lost, started bitching and moaning again. It's like, you've got to be, like, come on. That's just absolutely ridiculous. It's to a point now where we really do need to go back to a level where we get back locally. Like I said, it's time, if we're going to bring anything back from the 90s back, I would say bring that back. All right, and that arcade feel. You know what? Speaking of an arcade feel, okay, for those who don't know, there is a spiritual successor to Power Stone coming out very soon. I should say very soon, but we've seen what it's going to look like gameplay-wise, and to me, it looks amazing. I mean, it's just, I'll put it like this. For those who didn't play Power Stone on the Dreamcast, or for those who didn't play Power Stone in the arcades, I believe it also came for PS2, was it, I believe? Something like that. For those who didn't play the games, okay? I'll talk about Dreamcast a little bit later. But for those who didn't play those games, Power Stone was a great party game. It was the party game to play. Because let's be honest here, it had fighting elements. This was before Mario Party and Smash and all those, that's right. Power Stone was the game to play in arcades at times. And for those who didn't have that experience with Power Stone, you're getting ready to get it with Combat Core. So, let's see what it looks like.
Bring it on!
I hope you're strong.
Nothing will stand in my way.
Eat this!
Now, while this seems a little bit more futuristic / ring arena based, I mean, let's be honest here, the original Power Stone was still arena based, but the way they made it set up, it was like a lot of environments, a lot more friendly, more warm colors, so it wasn't so futuristic like, but still, this game looks amazing. But speaking of Smash, that's right, for those who have not seen the fan mod, which is one of the best fan mods I've seen so far for Smash, check out how they've turned the Smash characters into Dragon Ball characters. Looks pretty fun, but you know what? I do want to move forward, and I want to talk about some pro gaming players, and I want you to listen to this. This is really weird, alright? Pro gamer that makes 6 figures, that's right, pro gamer, explains why many players don't have girlfriends. So, let's get into this. This is, oh my god. It says, and I quote, "There is this theory that once you get a girlfriend, you start playing worse." That's right, it says, True Told Business Insider. If it wasn't, it says, it wasn't true for every player, so it's not true for every player. It says, but we saw with many players where they just got worse over time. Okay? It says, this is a harsh thing to say to a girlfriend, because he's had a girlfriend before. It says, but it would be like, I love you, but I can't love you more than I love League of Legends. That's what it says here. It says, I'm married to League of Legends, essentially. I can't do both. Girls will have to wait until later. Now, let's get something straight here. Alright, people? There are many gamers who are pros, I'm sure, that have girlfriends, who have wives, who have families. Okay? For this person to say that we just saw that their gameplay just diminishes, maybe it's just over time they just get tired. Maybe they're just worn out. Alright? To blame a girlfriend, alright, because you're trying to say, well, you gotta spend time with them, because God forbid you spend any time with another human being as opposed to playing video games online or whatever, right? But in his case, he's making 6 figures off of this, so this is technically his job, if that's what you want to call it, okay? Now, when you have a person who sits there and makes this type of money, this is a young guy, so he more likely doesn't know any better. He's had a girlfriend or two, which means he doesn't have much experience, okay? You have to understand that people in the real world, when they see what you are doing, okay? Unless there's some young girl who's just like, I need to be so clingy. If you are making six figures off of video games and you have to go and play or you have to spend that much time to play, people will understand. Some people will say they need more attention, so they will walk off. Others will be like, no, I get it. That's your business. Go handle your money. You know what I mean? But to solely rely on video games as an income, to alienate other human beings, that is a problem. All right? And while, like I said, I can understand why these people are pro players and they play video games and, oh, they're so elite. At the end of the day, when you have six figures and you have this money, who are you going home to? You going to sit in your empty house? You have all this stuff but no one around you. What does it prove? What does it show? Seriously, and I say this due to the fact that because it becomes a disconnect with gamers and desperation. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I got some more news. Women are getting paid by male online gamers as escorts to play with them, to interact with them. They're getting paid to do this now. Women are getting paid to do this now. So it goes to show you, no matter if you're a pro, no matter how much money you're making, you're still missing that human element, that connection element. And we're seeing this more and more as we stay on networks, as we stay online and play video games or on social media. You know how many people say, I can say this on social media, but I'm afraid to meet somebody in person. Disconnection happens all the time with people these days. And it's a problem. It is. It's a big problem. That's why you always have to have it in moderation. We will talk about moderation later. First, I want to talk about Nintendo. That's right. So let's get Nintendo. Nintendo World Championships. Now, when this was announced, a lot of people were very excited. And I'm like, okay, they're bringing back the Nintendo World Championships. I remember that. Here's the problem with the Nintendo World Championships. It's not so worldly, all right? Let alone in good areas. If you don't believe me, let's look at the areas, the locations that they are having these World Championships. Some of those places are in the middle of fucking nowhere. I've had people message me like, where's this place at? I have people from Canada be like, yo, this is supposed to be a world championship. We're not involved. I have people from the UK. We're not involved. How do you have a world championship and only have 8 locations in the US? Let alone in the middle of, not even big locations. Now, mind you, people, this is being sponsored with Best Buy, so you have to go to different Best Buy places. The biggest, pretty much, fuck you of all this is the one in New York. I want to explain this. All right? You go, and I'm going to read this. Northern Boulevard, Long Island City, New York. Mind you, in New York City, you have Nintendo World. So you have Nintendo World, but you don't have the competition at Nintendo World? Are you fucking serious, Nintendo? I think that Nintendo is really still out of the loop when it comes to competitions. You think they would have learned when they put on that Smash tournament at E3. And a lot of people had a problem with that Smash tournament because they said a lot of players, big-time players, weren't, invited to do that. Now, I'll put it like this. For you to have a world championship, you have to hold this in other areas. And so far, from what I've read and what other people have said, they are not having this in any other area. This is not a world championship. This is a Middle West championship, should I say? Midwest Southern championship? You've got to be kidding me. This is Nintendo. Do yourselves a favor and understand that you have a wider fan base than this. You could have made this bigger than what it really was. Matter of fact, you didn't even need to have 8 locations say, this is it, these are the finalists who win those 8 locations, and they're going to battle it out. You could have put one in every state. You could have did, and then had them build up to one large thing at specific, in the U.S. You could have had one over in the U.K. Had people go, like I said, you could have made a champion. This is what I'm talking about when I mean local or regional champions. You could have had a champion in every state, and they could have faced off. You could have pushed this thing for a very long time. And it could have worked. Instead, this is what you do. That's ridiculous. Nintendo, you are not thinking big enough. You're not. And you're also doing discredit to your fans. You are. For a person like me, I had a person message me the other day and say, look, the closest Best Buy that they're competing at is 5 hours away from me. He was like, I don't have the gas money to go all the way to 5 hours just to register and see if you're going to... Come on. People. And I understand a lot of people say, well, that's their fault if they can't travel. You see all these other people travel. Yes, but that's just to one place to have one tournament, so everyone's together. This is 8 different places, all right? They're divided up. It's absolutely ridiculous. They could have made this bigger. They could have made it broader. They could have did it. They could have did a world championship for every country, all right? And faced off, those finalists, those champions of said country, and faced off in an actual world championship. Don't call it a fucking world championship in 8 places. That's ridiculous. Nintendo, you did... Yeah, Nintendo. Let's just move on. Let's move on. Sega. You know what? This is interesting. Because for those who don't know, the Sega Dreamcast is getting a new game, RDX2, in 2016. That's right. It's a side-scrolling shooter. But it's getting a new game in 2016. Also, for those who don't know, there's been a petition made to make Sega Dreamcast a limited edition for it so that people can go out and buy it again. That's right. Will Sega listen? More likely they won't. We know this. Come on now. Also, Ubisoft. We talked about Ubisoft earlier. I want to say this right now. Ubisoft says it will learn from AC Unity's mistakes. No, it won't. No, it won't. You haven't learned. You're not even listening to your fans. They've already told you they don't want any more Assassin's Creed. And yet, you're still going to keep doing it. We're going to learn from our mistakes. No, you're not. You're not, Ubisoft. Also, Ubisoft says that they are done with last-gen consoles. Just last week, you said you were going to put out Just Dance for the 360 and the PS3. Did you not? So don't tell me, and more likely the Wii U. Don't tell me that you're done with last-gen consoles. You're not. All right? Completely, you're not. And even so, guess what? Us last-gen owners, we're happy that you're done with us. Because the fact is, all you did was push out garbage for the previous, 5 years? Seriously. That's all you've done. So anyways, let's move on. Maybe I'm a little harsh with 5 years. Maybe I'll say 3. 3. How about that? 3. Anyways, Konami. All right, Konami. Konami CEO, now I'll put it like this. I'm going to put the link in the info bar. It's up to you whether you feel as though this article was real or not, okay? But it was translated. So, Konami CEO reveals that they have no idea what the hell they're doing. None. None whatsoever. And the article goes on to talk about how Kojima's eyes are always staring at them and looking at them. They're taking this big religious thing on Kojima and how he's put a curse on them and everything. I don't know what Konami is doing. If this is true, then there's something wrong. There's deeper problems wrong with Konami. It almost sounds like they're going the Square Enix route, where remember Square didn't know what to do, and they were going to fortune tellers to find out what they should do next with their business. And I'm like, wait a minute, you got statistical data that tells you where you should go or listen to your fans, and you go to a fortune teller. So I don't know how real this article is, but if this is true, they've got bigger problems than just getting rid of Kojima or getting rid of Silent Hill. And you know what? We'll talk about that in a minute. That's right, because there's more that you need to know about Silent Hill. All right, or should I say not Silent Hill, but something like Silent Hill. But we'll move on for now, okay? Xbox One. Phil Spencer says that if you want JRPGs, keep asking. So let me get this straight. You know that your fans want JRPGs, but you want them to keep asking you. You want them to keep begging you. Fuck off. How about that? You know the demand is there. They shouldn't have to keep asking you. Why don't you make them so they can fucking buy them? Keep asking my ass. You just want, what's the point of that? That's wasted time and wasted energy when you could be producing a JRPG. That's what you could be doing. But instead you want people to keep asking, till what? To turn blue in the face? We see what happens when you keep asking. Look at Square Enix once again. Where's Final Fantasy VII Remake? Keep asking. Keep asking. It's been how many years? Keep asking. Where's Shenmue? Keep asking. Exactly. Don't give me this shit. People are getting sick and tired of asking. It comes from asking, then it gets to begging, and then eventually it gets to demanding. And you know when it gets to demanding, that's when they say, well, see, gamers think they're entitled, blah, 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 blah. That's where it goes. Do yourself a favor, Phil Spencer. Just do it. Seriously. You know that the demand is there. You pay all these people in your office, all right? Like I said, once again, have statistical data. You know this. You know what the fans want, let alone they tell you every fucking day on Twitter or forums or anywhere what they want. And you want them to keep asking. All right, whatever. Let's move on. In more stupid news, Bloodbourne. Bloodbourne sales surprise Sony. Don't know why. Why would it be surprising? You saw what Demon Souls and Dark Souls have done for you, those franchises. What the hell made you think that Bloodbourne would be any different? And the thing is, they're not even trying to give, in the article it talks about how they're not going to give a specific number of sales, but it did do over, was it 1 million copies or something like that. But they're surprised. Are you not paying attention? I mean, seriously, it seems like companies really don't know what the fuck to say out of their mouth at this point. Seriously. How can you sit here and say Bloodbourne, which was a flagship title when the PS4 was coming out? Because they pushed Bloodbourne really hard. You know what? I saw more commercials for Bloodbourne than I've ever seen for Dark Souls or Demon Souls on TV. And now you're going to say it's a surprise? Really? Okay, it's a surprise. All right, whatever. Let's move on. Let's talk about more idiocy. And there's not even talking about companies now. We're going to talk about a video where a father, that's right, makes his son destroy a console because of his failing grades in school.
It's not my fault.
Let's go.
It's not my fault that I didn't get him.
Let's go.
It's not my fault that I didn't get him, though.
Let's go. You've had 3 weeks, Jason. Let's go.
It's not my fault. My teacher
Too bad.
doesn't want to give it to
Let's
me.
go.
It's not my fault.
Now.
I hate my life.
Let's go. Let's go. Next one. Let's go, next one. Let's go.
No.
Excuse you? Pick up the fucking sledgehammer and smash it.
But it's not my fault.
Now.
It's not my fault.
Okay.
It's my teacher's fault.
Let's go. Let's go, Jason.
I can't.
Do it. Do it or I do it.
I can't.
Do it or I'm gonna do it.
I can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't.
Yep, you're gonna do it right now.
I can't.
Let's go.
I can't do it.
You're gonna do it right now, Jason. Let's go.
I can't do it.
I'm tired of waiting.
I can't.
Let's go, Jason.
I can't do it.
Pick up the fucking hammer and do it.
Now, either that is fake, like we've seen in the past, you know, where the father was on the lawnmower and he rides over the kids, was it video games, while the kid just screams obscenities at him? Yeah, that's fake as shit, okay? Either this is fake, or that guy has no brain whatsoever, or he's doing it for fucking attention, alright? Now, put it like this, alright? Parent. I'm speaking directly to that parent, okay? I want to say this. If a child is failing class, and as you can hear in the video, the kid's saying it's the teacher's fault. Now look, we know that the child brings home a bad report card. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a parent-teacher conference afterwards. You're going to go up there, and as any parent knows, you're going to go multiple times that year up to the school to talk to the teacher. If your kid has disciplinary problems, you're going to go to the principal's office. You're going to go talk to these people. Am I correct? Okay, so if this is a problem, you're saying it's the teacher's fault, you would wait until you go and talk to the teacher to see what the problem, or, you know, what problems are occurring here in school. Now, on top of this, a lot of people have been saying, you know, well, it's the public school's fault, things of this nature. Maybe there is a problem with connection on how the kid is learning as opposed to the teacher. If there is, you still have to go to the fucking school. Until then, you confiscate the fucking video game. That's what you do. You don't take your kid outside, film them, throw the shit on the ground and say, smash it. You don't do that shit. Because I put it like this. If you really feel that the video game, the system, is the problem, then as a parent, you have failed. That's what it is. Because you're not monitoring what your kid is doing. You're letting your kid play video games, and if it's really hampering his or her grades, you confiscate it and you say, you know what? You're not getting this back until you get your grades up. You have to earn this. You don't throw them out there on the lawn for film for everyone to fucking see and say smash them. Have that kid crying. You don't do that. That's not just bad parenting. That just makes you an asshole. That's what it is. However, I'll put it like this. Like I said, makes you a bad parent for not monitoring what's going on and not letting your kid play in moderation. Because as we all know, you're not supposed to let your kid just sit around and play for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. No, it's not how it works. Knowing that it's hurting their grades. How do you not know that it's hurting their grades? I mean, the kid's got to come home with tests, right? You're going to see the grades, right? Were you all of a sudden shocked that when the kid comes home and sees a report card as a failing report card, it's a problem? Come on, man. So don't sit here and blame video games. No, that is an inanimate object. That's what that is. That is an entertainment box. If that's the case, you might as well blame TV as well. Are you going to go out there and throw out your flat screen TV and smash that as well? Are you going to throw out an iPod or a laptop or a computer? Or should I say a desktop? You've got to be kidding me that you're going to blame objects and let them smash objects. That's your consequence. No, that is not your consequence. You should be giving them goals to achieve something. And granted, sometimes when you do achieve something, you're not going to get anything. You're not, because that's life. That is. But don't sit here and tell me that you did everything in your power, parent, to stop this from happening. It must be the video game's fault. Let's smash this shit. Like I said, if that's real, what kind of fucking lunatic records it anyway and puts it online for people to see? That's stupid. It's not just embarrassing your kid, you're embarrassing yourself for hits, for views. It's bullshit. As far as I'm concerned, like I said, I think that's fake. But if it's not fake, then fuck you as far as I'm concerned. Let's move on, man. Bethesda teases the Doom 4 gameplay. For those who are interested in Doom 4, link will be in the info bar. Now, I said I wanted to talk about Silent Hill a little bit, but it's actually not Silent Hill. For those who have not seen, Allison Road, that's right, is coming up. It's making up for Silent Hill PT being canceled. That's what they're saying. So, for those who are interested in Allison Road, I will put the link in the info bar. Also, I want to talk about Overkill's The Walking Dead. That's right, it is confirmed for E3. We will finally see exactly what it's going to look like, okay? Also, Elder Scrolls fans, Elder Scrolls Online won't require a CD key on the console. It won't, so you won't have to worry about that if you're deciding to buy Elder Scrolls Online, okay? Also, we'll talk about this. Great pinball and arcade bars from around the world. Now, this link that's in the info bar for this, they only have like 5 bars. One's like in London, the other one's in Japan, one's in China, I believe. There's a couple in the US, but they don't touch on every bar. Hell, they didn't even put Philadelphia's Barcade on here. You know what I mean? They put the one, I believe, in New York on there, but there's a lot of places. The one from Jersey isn't on there. There's a lot of places that they did not cover in this article. And a lot of comments are like, well, you left this out, or you left that out. So it's really interesting that you would call it a great pinball and arcade bars from around the world, and then you only post like 5 or 6 of them. I don't understand that one. So, like I said, it's one of those things where I think the article needed to be fleshed out. But hey, it is what it is. Anyways, I just want to let you know, tomorrow I will be doing an official stream for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Yesterday's videos that you saw, the fighting, was it what, the Skullgirls tournament? I shouldn't even call it a tournament. Skullgirls matchups, it was exhibition. That was impromptu. That wasn't even supposed to be Children's Hospital of Philadelphia stream, but you have to also understand that once we started playing for fun, the FGC came in and said, look, we should do this for charity. We should add this to your charity. So I want to thank the FGC for doing that as well. You know, all those people that came through and did that. Also, I want to let you know that tomorrow we will be doing Kingdom Hearts once again because you guys and girls voted. You want to see me go save Alice in Wonderland. So we will do Kingdom Hearts tomorrow at 2 p.m. again. And once again, if you cannot make the stream, it is fine. I will, like I said, upload it for, for YouTube so that you see. And this video that you're seeing right now, this will be the last video until 2 weeks because next week I have to go to Atlanta. That's right. We're going to have, there's a competition in Atlanta at MomoCon. I'll be going there for the weekend and I need to practice on Skullgirls. And since they got rid of Rock Band was supposed to be a competition. That's why you haven't seen any more Rock Band uploads. It was supposed to be a competitive thing for money. They bumped Rock Band due to the fact that they want to make it just free play now and they added Dive Kick. So I may have to practice on Dive Kick and Skullgirls on next week. So I won't have any time to do any videos, not to mention packing and things of that nature. And I will be taking both cameras so that you can see what's going on there. I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of you that will be there, and there'll be a lot of us there that will be meeting up. So, like I said, there won't be any videos next week. I will try and upload, like I said, I'll upload the stream from tomorrow, and I'll try to upload the videos from MomoCon as well. So until then, I will talk to you later. Y'all be safe. Y'all take care. I'm out.